What is going on, ladies and gents? Central Texas EAS here with yet another weather radio video, and not just any weather radio, but guess what? I got one, a new old stock one. But it also is kind of a bittersweet moment today, is because if y'all have known me for the longest time, you know, before it was Cen-Tex EAS 2000, when it was EAS Coon 55, you may notice that this radio was in a lot of my videos, or, you know, you would see it a lot. And that's because, you know, this was my favorite weather radio. It still is to this day. I don't know what it is. I just love this radio. It's just my favorite one. And I've had this radio since 2018, and that is a long time. Especially for a weather radio, and especially if you've used it daily like I have. And yet, it still works great. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think, you know, it's got a lot of use on it, and I said, you know, well, it'd be nice to kind of retire it. That way I can kind of keep it around a lot longer, you know, because this radio's kind of become a sentimental piece to me. Because, you know, I've had it for so long, and I kind of want to keep it around. And not only that, I managed to find another one, but the other one, it's brand new in the box. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at this one real quick, just to show you, you know, how much I've just used it. You see, look at the realistic just starting to come off because I've been doing this so much. It works just fine. There's a little ding right there. But like I said, everything works fine. You know, it's not, got some character marks on the case. But it's a great radio, and you can see where I've held this thing a lot. Look at that. That's where my hand's been. Crazy. But it's, like I said, it still works great. There's nothing wrong with it. But we're going to go ahead and retire this one. Yeah, we're still going to get it out, you know, and power it up. Because one thing about these old radios is you really don't want to let them sit for a long period of time, only because it's kind of harder on the electronics and stuff. It's nice to get them out and just power them up for, you know, a few minutes every so often, and it's, you know, it's kind of easier on the stuff. It makes it last a little bit longer. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's from my experience. You know, I let an old radio sit, and, you know, I went to go power it back up, and it didn't work. All the capacitors were bad. And I let it sit for like a couple years, and it was an old radio. But yeah, if you get them out and power them up, you know, it makes them last significantly longer. And so, like I said, we're still going to power this one up every so often. And, you know, this radio right here, it went everywhere with me. I'm talking like everywhere. Like, seriously, if I went somewhere, it was with me. That's how much I love this radio. And, well, you know, I found me another one. But, you know, the new one I want to keep, you know, I want to keep it looking nice. And so I may still take this one out just because, you know, I had a lot of fun with this radio, you know. Heard a lot of stuff out of it. All right, enough of me rambling. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Look at that. Here's the box. This is a 12149 box of what it looked like when he bought these brand new in the 80s. Look at that. How cool is that? And I want to definitely keep this box here. Let you guys read it here. So, it's crazy, isn't it? And here's the back. You know, there's really not much on the back. Because you had it on the shelf, you're probably just sitting there like this, you know, at a Radio Shack store. Well, you know what we're going to do, right? We're going to open this baby up. All right, I got it opened up. And the reason why I do that, because I want to be careful with this box as much as possible. I want to keep it. So let's go ahead and get the radio out. Yep, there's the box. You can see it's kind of like flimsy here. So you want to watch this. I don't want it to rip and come off. This box is, I believe, probably 40 years old almost. There's the warranty instructions. I think that's just a warranty card. Maybe the manual might have fell out years ago. There's no telling. That's what the warranty card looks like on one of these. Let you guys pause that so you can read it. Interesting, there's no instructions manual. It must have fallen out because, you know, it's been opened and looked at, but I don't think it's ever been powered on. Maybe one time it has. Wow, look at the buttons, man. They are like white. Here's mine. Look at that. That's crazy. You only live once, eh? Oh, man. Wow, it just smells like an old attic. Crazy enough, I kind of like that old smell. There it is. Look at that. Wow. Just crisp as it can be. Not a single scratch on the buttons. Look at that. That is too cool, man. Well, it looks like it's also a 1983. What's this one? It's like it's worn off so dang much. Also an 83, but I can't. I think it's a 10 of 83, so this one's a little bit older. It's a 3 of 83. I think the 83 means 1983. All right, see here? Look at that. There's not a speck on that battery terminals at all. It's brand new, so go figure. Just look at that thing. Wow. That is too cool, man. Wish it luck. Oh, yeah. A 148 does that, too. This one seems to do it a little bit more. Also, I think my 490 also does that. Yeah. It's not supposed to, but they do. And real quick, if you guys don't know what a 148 looks like, this is the one you probably see most of, is one of these. This here's the 12148. And I got to get a new antenna for mine because it broke. But you can see it's the same principle. Still got the same exact dial on it. It's got like, looks like one of the alert style, cabinets. But instead of just the big button and stuff and the small ones on the side, you got these buttons here. And the little red light would come on. But yeah, I've also had this radio for about the same amount of time as this one too. Alright, let's go ahead and set to my time zone. And I'll explain how this clock works in here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and we'll put a battery in it and we'll try this thing out. It's installed, and I almost forgot to do these switches too. That's the thing about weather radios. You always got to move the buttons and stuff. Wish it luck in service. Alright, let's extend the antenna real quick. Alright, here we go. Let's see if this thing works. It's been sitting for a long time. I don't think it's ever been used. Alright, here we go.
To 5 to 10
Oh, look at that.
After midnight. And now the extended forecast.
I'm going to tell you guys, that antenna was like butter smooth pulling it up. This one is no longer like that. It's been probably pulled up and down so many times.
Increasing to 10 to 15 miles an hour in the afternoon. Tuesday night, mostly clear in the evening.
Sounds perfectly fine.
Partly cloudy. Lows in the mid-70s.
Man, just look at those buttons.
Wednesday, mostly
And then look at mine.
Highs in the mid-90s.
The old one. Look at that. Wow. Look at the cases invaded a little bit.
Lows in the mid-70s.
Look at that.
Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the mid-90s. Heat index values up to 105.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you about this clock feature here. So how this works is, so if you have this pressed down. Yeah, see, I'm not going to be able to get it. Sorry. It's got 3 settings on the back. Got 5, 10, and 15 megahertz. And usually I can get it on 10, but I don't know if you can hear it. Barely. I know, I really can't hear it on this one. Not right now, at least. Barely. You can hear it barely. Hear it? So this basically is like a little shortwave. Oh, do you hear that beep? So that's what I'm going to go to here in just a second. This time signal right here, it's actually a shortwave broadcast here. It's on a station that's called WWV. I don't know. I think some of them used to say it on the back. Yeah, look at there. It says on the back of this one, WWV time. That's the station right there. Is WWV. Does it say it on this one too? Yeah, it does. Same thing. But so what happens is you got this clock right here. It's kind of difficult to understand at first unless you figure it out. Once you figure it out, it's actually really easy. So my time zone, for example, we're in daylight time, and let's say it's 10 a.m. So you got an AM side and you got a PM side here. This is the PM. You can see the hours here. Like noon and stuff, 12, 11 o'clock at night, 1, 2, 3, 4, all that stuff. And this is the AM side here. So let's say it's like 10 a.m. for where I'm at. And this is a universal clock, so it can go for any time zone and tell you what time it is. So that's what's cool about it. So we're in Central Daylight Time, right? And let's say it's 10 o'clock. So you're gonna hear you press the button, and if you get it, you will hear it say at the tone, 15 hours, 0 minutes, coordinated universal time. So you use the inner wheel here it's got the numbers here, and you see that 15 lines up with 10, and it says 0 minutes, that's 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Or if it says, like, at the tone, 16 hours, 30 minutes, coordinated universal time, 11:30 a.m. And if you're in a different time zone, as you can see, let's say you're in Pacific time, for example here. So 16 hours, 30 minutes, that's 9:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And it goes to 11:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. And if you go over here to Eastern Daylight Time, let's see, it's kind of finicky here. Eastern Daylight, there you go, 12. Well, it would be 12 p.m., but you kind of get the gist. I mean, 12 a.m., that makes no sense. Don't get me wrong, I don't know how they did that, but that's just how it is. You know, it would be 12 p.m. But, and if you go, you know, you got your Central Daylight and you got your Standard Time. As you notice, watch the 16. See, it counts for the hour. Pretty simple, eh? But yeah, that's how that clock works. And it's actually pretty cool. These clocks right here, when you hear that beep, you can actually see your phone change the time. It is in sync with that. And the reason why that is because WWV is the atomic clock. You know, that's like what our phones are connected up to. They think it's like WWVB. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's basically the same principle. But back then, if you wanted to set your clocks to like a really atomic time or know what time it is, you know, this clock would tell you how to do it. You know, wherever, regardless of what time zone you're in, you can get the time. So basically, that's how these time dials work. And then on top of that, you got yourself a weather radio.
Partly cloudy.
See if you can hear that beep again. Oh, you can hear it barely. Hear it? Hear that ticking? Barely. You hear the beep. You can barely hear it. So yeah. There's that beep right there. That was the mark right there that tells you when the minute changed. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this unboxing, and thanks for watching my video, and I hope you subscribe for some more content.